Welcome back, folks. Man, I think it is safe to say, and I'm going to say it, that it is acceptable. It's now socially acceptable to be excited about the New York Yankees' playoff hopes. Not just making the playoffs, but what they can do when they get in the playoffs. Because obviously, if you're a Yankee fan, you don't give a rippity-doo-dah about making the playoffs, right? If you don't make the playoffs, heads better roll like it's the French Revolution. But, if you do make the playoffs, it should never be a goal. Oh, yeah, we won a playoff game. Or, oh, yeah, we won a series and we're not. No, you were just in the World Series. Okay? Put my foot down. They need to go back to the World Series. That, to me, is the goal. Now, obviously, I want to win the World Series. But my goal, as of right now, is to get back to the World Series. And I believe the Yankees have what it takes. They have the most home runs in the league. They have the most runs in the league. Their starting pitching is back. Their bullpen, while frustrating at times for the most part, towards the end of the year, they're probably one of the better bullpens in the league currently right now, just on paper. And the timely hitting is starting to come through. That's what we're starting to notice. This is a team that just played, in my opinion, a playoff style series. And they won 2 out of 3. And the thing that is so important to me, Gary, is that how do you respond after losing a game? And, you could say what you will about the travel and all that. We're trying not to make excuses here on Yankees Unloaded, but
we hardly make any.
Right? The 5th. No travel day. Blue Jays come off of a day off. Blue Jays win 7-1. The Yankees look like they just didn't even get out of bed that day, right? Just a bad day at the ballpark. But it's not really about those days because baseball is baseball. I mean, we just talked about it. The Mariners won 18-2 against the Braves. Now, obviously, the Braves aren't good. They just scored 18 runs. Their biggest issue has been scoring runs lately, right?
Yep.
And they just scored 18. That's baseball. But here's the thing. It's about how you respond. And the Yankees losing 7-1 could have just laid down. And it's why, as frustrated as I was, man, and I was very frustrated, I said, you know what? This could just be a bad day. I'm going to actually say it's a bad day, and I think they're going to win the next 2. I had them sweeping them, but I thought after that, I was like, they're going to win the game that I go to. And then, obviously, if they win the game with Luis Heel, and nothing against Luis Heel, but he's not, Max Fried, they have their ace on the mound on Sunday. I'm going to go with that game as well. And sure enough, the Yankees came through, and it was not as simple as that. I'm not trying to simplify, I'm not trying to simplify baseball. It's not that simple. But that win today was huge because, honestly, Max Fried didn't get off to the best start. We can call it like it is. He did not look good at all at the start. It was worrisome. But I was talking about this with my father today, and he said it really well. He was like, look, the great ones, they're able to overcome when they don't have their best stuff, they're able to turn out and salvage length and a good overall outing. And I'll be honest, I thought Fried going 6 innings after a start like that was totally fine. To go 7, I had no doubt in my mind the Yankees were going to win this game. I actually thought more yesterday. Yesterday felt like a game the Yankees were going to lose until, of course, the Cody Bellinger throwout at home, which was insane. And another defensive play, Gary, where you could say Cody Bellinger might have had a season-saving play. But I think a lot of it is coming from it built on the back of yesterday. I think that team that I saw yesterday at the stadium, I thought that translated today. And so they showed us that they can win without the home run yesterday. Now today they show us they can with the home run. Devin Williams pitched well. David Bednar pitched well. Used back-to-back days, I might add. I just thought this was a really good win. And again, we can be picky. I see it. It's NFL Sunday. People are already picky about how their teams won today. The important thing is just finding a way to win, not how it's done.
Yeah. Jake, when you were talking about Fried's start, the start was not good. But the one thing we mentioned, and we talked about this before the Cam Schlittler start, that start didn't go well. Toronto's going to put the ball in play. They just are. And even if you do struggle early in the game, you can find a way to get deeper in the game just by pitching to contact. And I mentioned, I actually had the most faith in Max Fried. Was this how I thought the start would go? No. But Max Fried's not afraid to pitch to contact. He only threw 100 pitches today, and he labored through the beginning of this game. That goes to show you the style that he pitches with and how it can work against Toronto. And when you look at the two teams who have just dominated the Yankees, just top to bottom, the entire season, Boston, Toronto, these teams have destroyed us. Home, road, it doesn't matter. These teams have found a way to beat us, and it's through contact, putting the ball in play. The Yankees struggle to put the ball in play. They just do. Yesterday, they did something different. They found ways to put the baseball in play. They found ways to avoid pressure from the opposing team while they're on the base pass, while the ball is being put in play. Now, you saw today Anthony Volpe just playing unacceptable defense. Just was. And we're going to talk about that at length. It's bad baseball. But having said that, guys, the only thing that mattered were the results, not how it looked, not how many hits we had, none of it. Could you win the game? And we asked people, especially our audience, what do you think about this 3-game series? I know you guys are excited about the Houston series, but does it mean really anything? Because we've got to see Toronto at the stadium. And I asked people, right? What do you guys think is happening? Jake, you said a sweep. I said we were going to take 2 of 3. Now, did it go exactly as planned for me? No. This isn't how I thought the series would go. But having said that, when you look up and you say the Yankees found a way to execute just enough, isn't that exactly what we've been asking of them this entire season? You don't have to hit 13, 14, 15 hits. This isn't how games against contenders are played. You're going to have to find a way to make the correct throw, run the bases correctly, make the smart play. Now, did you guys see some mental just lapses throughout this series? Sure. But we made less mistakes than Toronto did. We just did. So I'm proud of how the actual results went down. That's all the Yankees had to do. Go out and take 2 of 3, because now here's what's accomplished, Jake. Toronto leaves New York knowing we've got a tough schedule ahead. We've got Houston ahead, and it doesn't stop there for them. Houston's not the best team in the world, but it's still, they're trying to get back into postseason mode. They're struggling. Now, Detroit, on the other hand, Detroit's a good team, but they're not playing good baseball either. We don't see Tarek Skubal. That matters. It just matters for the Yankees. And the Yankees right now, they have to smell blood in the water. So I'm feeling really good about this season now. 2 games back of the Toronto Blue Jays. Toronto can't feel very good right now. You can't feel like anything else is happening other than a collapse where if you end up in the wild card, I know you've played us well all season. It's not how you want to see the Yankees in October. You want to definitely win this division. I can tell you guys, I don't see the Yankees making it to a World Series or really even a championship series without winning this division. Those odds have excelled, drastically after today.
I totally agree, and I love the way you put it, but I've said that a lot, all those words, in the same order.
Yep.
Throughout the history of this podcast. Wow, that's why I do a podcast with you, because you know your shit. Anyway.
Appreciate it, man.
Of course, man. I mean, I gotta, there's some times where it's like, you kind of forget, like, yeah, we're doing this, but like, I think we're both really good at this.
How about your guy, Ben Rice, today, by the way? How about the fact that...
Speaking of somebody who's really good at what they do.
Guys, we don't love the home run or bust mentality either. It's not something we subscribe to. We've never tried to sell a single soul in our audience that this is the best way to attack. It's not, especially good pitching. When you see contenders, their pitchers, by definition, make mistakes far less. Home runs are hit more times than not, unless you're seeing Vladimir Guerrero Sr. or maybe an Ichiro. Those pitches are really where those hitters want the ball. Aaron Judge, when he hits a home run, it pretty much is over the meat of the plate. But you get a lot of those pitches against bad pitching. But when you see some of the game's best, you don't get that quite as much. Today, Ben Rice received a mistake, and he didn't miss it. And it was the difference of the game. And then the pitching brings it the rest of the way. I love that Aaron Boone went back to Bednar. You don't worry about rest in a finale against Toronto. You, to hell with rest. To hell with we give him a day. To hell with what did you call it again? Where they throw the thing up on the screen where he pitched Friday, Saturday, Sunday. What do they call that?
The bullpen budget.
The bullpen budget. And I actually like the graphic because it gives you an understanding of which direction they may go.
It's a
But I can
graphic.
tell you right now, the budget can kiss our behind in these series. Doesn't matter. And we'll also talk about the fact that you did see Aaron Judge out in the outfield, and we predicted that we would actually see Stanton in right field. We didn't get that. That was an interesting choice. We'll talk about it. But
that's the bullpen budget.
Is that the bullpen budget? Yeah.
Kobe.
Yeah. I don't blame you. And guys, when we have tomorrow off, correct? That's a Monday?
Yes,
which
we
is
do.
Great news. All the more reason you use Bednar. And yeah, Devin Williams isn't a guy that you necessarily protect physically, but Devin Williams found a way to get through his outing, and he came up big. I know you guys don't have a ton of confidence in him. You don't have to. He has to do a job, and really, he's fighting for his life because he's in a contract year. He has to prove he can pitch, and it's the perfect time to figure it out. So, yeah, should the Yankees throw him back in the ninth or in the extra inning game? No, absolutely not. But sometimes, guys, you're in a situation where you have to throw the ball to a reliever. Who are you going to throw it to? Duvall, who's going to walk the bases loaded? Probably not. Who are you going to give it to? Leiter Jr.? Probably not. He's been getting lit up. Is it Tim Hill? Not likely. They gave the ball to Devin Williams, and he gave up a base runner right away. And I know, Jake, pre-show, you were talking about it. It's put up or shut up time. Contender at the plate. They put the ball in play like hell. They're not going to swing and miss at your airbender. He found a way to get off that mound scot-free.
And he wasn't giving up like blistering contact either. Like he did his job. I give him credit. I said it to you off air. I think in the first two pitches, you can kind of tell what Devin Williams are going to get. And I felt really good about Devin Williams. Even after the walk, I felt like he was locked in. Like, okay, yeah, that sucked. But, Free had some walks where he was ahead in the count and then kind of. So, yeah, I don't know.
Trying to be perfect on a team that is going to foul the ball off. You saw those at bats. Kirk is going up to the plate, 12, 13 pitch at bats. You're not going to put him away easy. You're more than likely going to put him away with contact and play.
Kirk
just is what it is. He just plays an annoying brand of baseball, but it's effective, especially in these big games, because what would you rather see when a player gets down 0-2? Look across the league. Look at batting averages. Look at the ops. Look at slugging. It's not very good, even for the game's best players. And you even said today, Max Fried got ahead, and then you look up, it's 2-2, 3-2. Well, that's more favorable for a hitter, and of course, that's when Toronto finds a way to get on base. So it's a smart way to play.
Button too.
It's a smart way to exactly. Yeah. It's a smart way to play. I have no remixes at all to what Toronto does to attack us. That's exactly what they should be doing. Run like hell. You get on first base, make Austin Wells, who struggles to throw the ball to bases, make him throw you out. They were trying to do all that this series, and the Yankees found a way to win 2 games out of 3. It was the task at hand.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with you there. And yeah, they do play an annoying brand of baseball. There's a lot of respect on my side for them. But here's the deal, okay? I don't think they're better than the Yankees. I think they play a style that will breed the most optimal results and take advantage when the Yankees aren't their best. But I feel like when the Yankees play even, and that's, I want to explain this in a way that people understand. The Yankees, it felt like every time they played the Blue Jays, just played really sloppy baseball, right? I mean, not just one error. We're talking 3 errors, bad base running mistakes. The Blue Jays play a brand of baseball where optimally they will never lose a game if you're giving up 3 errors, base running errors, right? Stuff like that. If you have an error or two, you can still beat the Blue Jays. You can't.
That's what Michael K did cover that to not to that level. But when Michael K was talking about it, the way he put it was when you play bad teams and you make a mistake and Anthony Volpe makes a huge error, bad teams just tend to not capitalize on that. They just don't. Yeah, you allowed a guy to first base who shouldn't be there. Now he steals second base. A good team will get to second base. A good team will capitalize with runners in scoring position if you allow it to happen too often. And Toronto, you saw them uncharacteristically. They weren't very good, in really their losses. Those two losses, they didn't capitalize with runners in scoring position, and the Yankees found a way to keep them off second base, even with mistakes. The Yankees didn't play a perfect brand of baseball today. There were some key mistakes, and when you look up how many of them killed the Yankees, not very many. And that's the difference between great teams and just the good. They win a lot of games in the regular season. Is if a team makes a mistake, do you make them pay at all? At all? If they walk you with 2 outs, does that hurt whatsoever, or are you just waiting for the 2-run homer? And I thought the Yankees today, the home run was the difference. But in yesterday, you get Dominguez, right, with a single on a hit and run. You get Austin Wells with 2 sac flies. That was the totality of our offense, Jake. That's how you have to beat these teams. We don't do that more times than not. So is this something changing with the Yankees? I don't know. I honestly don't know. I don't know what to tell our audience
today.
I have no idea. Go ahead.
I want to highlight something.
Yeah.
Mind blowing. I was like, oh, this game's over. Austin Wells throwing that dude out. Are you kidding me? And the stare down.
He doesn't throw guys out. He doesn't.
He doesn't throw guys out, and he doesn't have accuracy like that. What?
No.
I was like, oh, okay. And you could tell. Austin Wells has been in a little bit of a zone lately. Okay, like today he struck out twice, right? Like that sucks. But he had 2 huge sac flies yesterday. His at-bats have been actually competitive at the plate. And then that freaking throw, who knows? Is that the game right there? I don't want to say that, but now Bednar is pitching it with his game plan changes. There's 1 out. That's why I don't understand the steal. I don't get.
No, I genuinely thought if he was safe there, it does change the entirety of the game. But that's what it takes, guys. If you want to go win in October, those are the little things. Can your catcher? I don't think anyone has Austin Wells in the top 7 of our best players on the roster. Those guys who are on the bubble of your roster, they have to contribute to some degree. Look at the bottom of our lineup today, guys. I want you to just take a gander. Austin Wells, Anthony Volpe, and Ryan McMahon. They were a total of 0 for 9 with 8 strikeouts. They did nothing. And I didn't even include Giancarlo Stanton with 0 for 4 with 2 Ks because he normally is a contributor for this team. So I left him out of that. But those players, Austin Wells, right? Austin Wells, we just talked about, he normally doesn't throw that guy out. That was odd.
Yeah.
But we will absolutely take it. It was clutch moment. Anthony Volpe was 0 for 3 with 3 Ks and an error. It was as bad of a day as it could be. Ryan McMahon, on the other hand, everything that you wanted with the glove, he's been. He's been as good as you could be. Is it a little overpriced for a defensive specialist? Probably. But if it's enough for the Yankees this year to do something, we'll just have to take it and live with that contract starting in next year. So, yeah, this was a huge series. When you look at the Wells, Volpe, McMahon, you look at the bottom of that lineup, McMahon is pulling the rope somewhere on the field, and it's with the leather. Anthony Volpe is not. Today, Austin Wells found a way to change a game with his arm. That's how you win. Yesterday, Austin Wells found a way to change a game without leaving the ballpark. He normally doesn't do that. In 2 of the 3 days, Austin Wells very well could have been the difference by doing nothing, hitting the ball into the seats. That is an anomaly, first and foremost, Jake. That's something we don't see. How many times have we even sat up here on this podcast? This is a nightly show. We do not miss a day, Jake. Not one. We have never said Austin Wells has changed a game without leaving the ballpark. And twice it's been this series. It's insane. Insane work.
It's a sign, though. He has to change his style. The Yankees have to change their style. Austin Wells' average is now at 213. Now, you might laugh at that, but it was nowhere near 213 not that long ago. So I'll take whatever I can get out of Austin Wells. I'll take whatever I can get out of the bottom of the order. I do think, and I don't want to just go right to the negative here. I mean, we can kind of break it up, but Anthony Volpe is really just, at this point, I don't really even know why he's starting. I mean, I know Caballero, and I mentioned that. I think some people did not like it, so I wanted to explain my point. Caballero hasn't gotten the opportunities, yes. But it's no longer like when Caballero was like he had 1,000 OPS and he just looked amazing and they weren't
he was an
playing
outlier
him.
offensively. It's how is he not playing? Right.
Exactly. So really now it's not Caballero needs to play because he's dominant. It's more so he needs to get opportunities. And really, Gary, this shortstop position needs to be a timeshare because this idea where, well, you got to get Anthony Volpe right for the postseason. I don't. I'm like, honestly, I'm kind of wondering, is Anthony Volpe, I don't want to go too negative here to start off because like I kind of want to ease into it, but I did want to talk about it. Like, is Anthony Volpe's defense now legitimately a concern in the postseason? Because, see, Ellie De La Cruz leads the league in errors. He's second in errors at shortstop.
Yes.
Now, understand this, and you do, but I'm just going to say this. Ellie De La Cruz is offering you a lot offensively. That's why like people turn a blind eye to it. It's not like, and they don't really turn a blind eye to it, but they accept it a little bit more when you have another tool.
They consider him an offensive shortstop. That's the...
Yes. Anthony Volpe currently does not have a bag. He has no bag. He doesn't have a contact. The power... He has 19 home runs. I mean, like, we're going to sit there and act like 19 home runs is tons of power. It's not. He doesn't have the glove this year. He doesn't have the arm. The base running is about it. So what is he, a bona fide, base runner savant guy? I don't know. Is he a pinch runner? I mean, and
can you rephrase the question exactly how you put it? Just short and sweet. Postseason.
Yeah,
you just said Anthony Volpe. You said, is it getting to the point where he could be a concern defensively for the postseason?
Yes.
The entire sell job of Anthony Volpe, here it is. Yankees fans said, oh, this is going to be a top prospect. We can't wait to see it. Now, there were people on both sides of the fence. Some, and that's where I was like, you need to trade him for Luis Castillo. And now, mind you, I didn't know how things would look down the road. I was just making a prediction then.
Yeah.
Trade him for Luis Castillo, go out into the market, and land a shortstop. It may cost you money. It may be a trade. I don't care what you do. Go find me a shortstop that's proven. That's all I wanted. That's it. And so all of a sudden, then you had the other side that said, no, hold on a second. Wait till you see this kid. He's got the glove. He's got the wheels. He can run the bases. He's going to run like a bat out of hell. He's not Trey Turner, but he's that type of build where he's got pop. He's got everything. I said, I'm awesome. If you're not going to trade him, I'm going to root for it. You get here. Then we saw the bat, and it was not good. He hit 20 home runs, and people said, well, isn't that good? It's something to build off of. And I said no, because he hit 200. And then yet we just continued to go into the next season, Jake. We started our podcast. And all of a sudden, they told us going into spring training, he's flattening out his swing. And we said, nice. Very reminiscent of what Alex Rodriguez has said 40 times, which is he needs to flatten his swing and become more of a contact bat. The only problem with that is Anthony Volpe, never in his entire career, never, not even when he left the minor leagues, he wasn't a contact bat. He never hit for a good average. He wasn't that contact guy. Jake, you mentioned these numbers before. So having said this, now that the bat was clearly falling behind, we went into year 2, then halfway through year 3, and then what was the calling card? What was the way to be gaslit? Was that, well, the glove saves it. There's too much value to the glove. He's much better and underrated than what you guys think he is. He helps this team when he's out there. And we're like, okay, well, we'll take a look at defensive run save. We'll look at baseball savant. We'll see what that stuff looks like. Now, mind you, we didn't agree, but we'll take a deep dive. Wrong. Anthony Volpe is piling up the errors. He doesn't have a ton of range according to the mathematics, not me, math. His arm's not good. He's running the bases well. We don't want to just cut him short. We've talked about what he does well. You can't have a player who's a top prospect, who's a good base runner, terrible defender, terrible hitter, and I'm not supposed to be upset about it because he's walking into a pennant race and he's hitting 8th. You guys failed. That prospect failed. And I understand, Jake, you're like, well, we're 21 minutes into the show. You don't want to make it negative. Anthony Volpe has completely failed. And this is coming from a person that just a month and a half ago said, I think Anthony Volpe will leave the Yankees and have a long career. And I mean, another 7 to 8 to 10 years, like in that range. He's going to be a serviceable baseball player. He'll get a change of scenery. I think he'll be okay. But does he deserve to be in the middle playing shortstop for a contender? No, absolutely not. And I think the Yankees right now, having him play over Caballero, and I think Caballero he's an okay baseball player. I don't think he's great. You can look at his numbers short and long term. He's had a little bit of a jolt with the Yankees, and that's good. We've covered it. But there's no explanation for why Jose Caballero doesn't play shortstop. It's complete nonsense. And the fact that you can have Aaron Boone say anything post-game other than, yeah, we're going to give Caballero some burn at shortstop and then not move him at all, there's no player better than Caballero at short for this Yankees team. And whether or not you guys think that Caballero should be a shortstop for a contender, that's a really a story for another day. This is the situation the Yankees are in. They need to go with their best options.
No, I agree. And I think, we're seeing IKF in the comments section, and I'll just say this. The Blue Jays are still the number one team in the AL East. Now, I do believe that's going to change. That team was not afraid to go out and claim IKF off of waivers. So, I just, for me, like, he's starting second base, third base. Like, they've been playing him. I don't know why the Yankees can't be more open to that. I don't know why Anthony Volpe gets like the green card. Like, he plays every day, but like Stanton's not in the lineup or whatever, right? It's weird to me. And I'll say this. Ryan McMahon also struck out 3 times, but you know what McMahon did? He looked fantastic with the glove. I actually want to point this out because I still disagree with, whatever, right? I disagree with getting him. I disagree with the $16 million, all of that. Key Brian Hayes was a better option. I'll say that until I'm blue in the face. But one thing I won't do is use my opinion in the past and just keep bringing it up and never give a guy credit when credit's due. Yes. Ryan McMahon's glove today also saved today's game. Let me make that very clear. There were some hard hit balls to the third base side, and he made some crazy plays with the glove. And I feel like that has to be out there. That has to be put out there. People have to understand, because the reality of the situation is that they had 3 hits today, Gary. And I'm giving them a lot of credit. I'm optimistic as hell about them. I feel great about them. Truthfully, I feel like they're the best team in the AL. That said, let's call it like it is. When you only have 3 hits, and it is a 1-run game, and it felt like a 1-run game the whole game. Well, any of those liners, hard hit grounders, that get by the third base, you know how left field is at Yankee Stadium.
So what's your takeaway on this? Brian Cashman made this trade. Mm-hmm. He looked at our third base room and said, okay, Cabrera unfortunately went down with a season-ending injury. That sucks.
Yeah.
Sucks. Now, he wasn't the best player when he left. He was just league average or something slightly below that. That's probably where I'd put him. And that was unfortunate. I was really rooting for that storyline. But then you've got Peraza. Peraza had the floor. Go earn a job. Peraza was horrible. His glove was fine, but he started making some defensive mistakes. And what the Yankees said is, if you're not going to hit, and you're going to hit $160, which is exactly what he was doing, you better be prime Nolan Arenado at the hot corner. And he wasn't. He was good. And you've tried to really help explain this. The problem was the Yankees said good is not good enough when you can't hit at third base. Not at that position. So Brian Cashman made the decision. Ryan McMahon, third baseman for the Colorado Rockies. He makes $16 million this year, 2026, and 2027. We can probably get him for very little prospect capital because Colorado doesn't want to spend that money. That's exactly what the Yankees typically like to do. They like to take money. They did this with Cody Bellinger. We're going to trade you Cody Poteet. And people really think, the Yankees just swindled Chicago for this trade. They really signed a free agent for a 1-year deal. That's all they did with Cody Bellinger. We'll take that deal off your hands. You worry about Kyle Tucker the next offseason. That's what Chicago did. So you look up and you see this situation. You're like, all right, Ryan McMahon was traded for And they said, well, we see some things offensively that can materialize. Now, we saw some oppo power in the Houston series. That was awesome, right? However, is this a win for Brian Cashman? Because, Jake, you have to keep in mind, when you're in a pennant race and everyone says the Yankees suck at the fundamentals, they won't make the big play defensively, they'll screw it up. Volpe obviously is cut from that cloth. Ryan McMahon is going to help you big time in that way. Do you still see this trade as just a complete loss? Or if Ryan McMahon's defense helped us in a series in Houston, he was a difference maker in Houston. He was a monster difference maker without even really swinging the bat well in this Toronto series. He still was a difference maker this is the biggest game of the season. Game 3 was the biggest game of the year, and he was a difference maker. Do you see this trade at all in a more positive light than you did before? Because I do personally. Now, is it something I would have done? No. But I look at this trade now and I say, this kind of reminds me of the Bader deal, where you traded for a player and he can help you in a short series, but over the course of a season, his numbers aren't going to be great. So how do you feel about this?
Well, if he hits like Bader in the postseason, we're going to have a completely different conversation because Bader went nuclear. But no, this is what I would say. I can simplify this. Ryan McMahon, if you're the Dodgers, you acquire him for $16 million a year. You don't give a shit. Dodgers don't give a shit. Whatever. It was more so I have to care about how much they're paying a guy because they've now told me I have to care. They told us they were going to cut back on the spending. So what I have to assume is, based on what they told us, is that if they're going to cut back on said spending, well, think about this. Ryan McMahon making $16 million doesn't sound like a contract they're going to get out of. Right? So that's the thing. And really what I'm saying is Ryan McMahon and his $16 million I still wouldn't have traded for. But think about this, right? If the Yankees have made it so we now have to care how much they're spending, then now I have to care. If the Yankees were like, yeah, we don't care, $16 million, the way I see it is this. Ryan McMahon makes a lot of sense for the glove alone moving forward to win a World Series this year. There's no doubt about it. No one can deny that.
If they were free spenders, then you'd say, all right, the Yankees are free spenders. They're going to bring in Ryan McMahon. Maybe you can admit that they wasted $32 million over 2026, 2027, because then a Bregman's available. If they were the type of team where they're like, Ryan McMahon's really helping this team. His glove was a difference maker in the biggest series of the year. Awesome. And we spent big money to get him here. Then we're going to go into the winter, and the Ryan McMahon contract isn't going to hold us back a lick. We're going to bring in the better player. The Yankees don't move like that. So that's a huge reason why, Jake, we've been so hesitant on bringing him in. Hayes was going to be doing probably something similar to this, where you're just wowed by the glove. And I'm wowed every day. Every single day I watch Ryan McMahon field the ball. It's amazing. Now, if he could give us anything offensively, it changes the way the Yankees look as a team. But will he do it? Long-term data says no. Long-term data, there's a reason that it was really, when we brought multiple reporters in with us at Yankees Unloaded. And the interest, according to what they were saying, wasn't heavy across baseball for Ryan McMahon. Some of it was the contract. Others of it was long-term data. And Alex says Bills just won on a game-winning field goal. Wow. The poor Ravens, they just can't do a damn thing, right?
Weren't we, right before we went live, they were losing by 15. It was like 40-25.
It's what can you say? What can you say?
Silly.
Xavier T, thank you for the super. Thank you for the 2. And guys, before I get to these supers, if you're not subscribed to Yankees Unloaded yet, please be sure to do so. Make sure you guys hit the like button. If you're with us at Apple Podcasts, make sure to leave us a review. Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, we are there. Xavier T with the 2 says Aaron Judge shouldn't be in the outfield. Jake, what's your perspective on Judge right now? Because Aaron Judge clearly isn't 100%, but here's something that Judge is doing. Judge isn't a liability from a physical standpoint in terms of moving, right? Running down fly balls. How important is throwing if you're in the shortest part of the outfield and you're in right field at Yankee Stadium. Because if, let's just say we swap roles. Aaron Judge is your DH, right? And I would assume Xavier's opinion here is that Giancarlo should have been out in right field today. Giancarlo Stanton, they should have taken that risk. I think the Yankees may, right now, in a pennant race, they may perceive it as a higher risk to run out Giancarlo Stanton into right field, because if Giancarlo gets hurt, he's going to be done for the year.
That's an interesting way to look at it. I think that makes sense. And I would say, I mean, Judge did have a huge sliding grab out in right field.
Right, so the body is not a problem for Judge. But Giancarlo Stanton would have had to been on a scooter to catch that ball. And this is
absolutely.
No knock on him. He can't push his body to the limits because of previous soft tissue injuries. That's a factor. Whether we like that or not, it's a factor. And Aaron Boone has to make this decision. Do I put Judge out there with an ailing arm where he has to lob the ball in? Do I just hope there's not some big play, big throw to be made? What you saw in the game you went to, Jake, with Cody Bellinger, should I just hope there won't be that type of necessary throw for Aaron Judge? Or should I just put Stanton out there for 9 innings in right field and pray to God he doesn't get hurt? I actually have, in a way, talked myself into Aaron Judge lobbing the ball in from right field might be the better play for the Yankees.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting, right? Because we watched, Stanton when it first came up. We saw him in left field against the Astros, obviously because of the ballpark, the way it is.
Yes.
And you saw, like, okay, this is where you're going to have to eat, the poison apple or whatever, because you're putting him out there. You have to suffer the consequences of putting him out there. Are you okay with that? And I would say, yes, I'm okay with that. Just like I'm okay with, Judge lobbing it in. Now, is it the most ideal? No, not really. I would still play Stanton in right. I just wouldn't play him in right every day. I would probably alternate the two, if I'm being honest with you.
Because I guess here's the thing. If you put Stanton in right field, they perceive it as just putting him out there for 9 innings may be his undoing. We saw it happen in a series. He played 2 games, guys. 2. He was out for, was it the entirety of the Tampa series? He didn't play.
I think so, yeah.
He didn't play. And Michael K's coverage was, how's this possible physically? But rather than us even trying to figure it out, and I get what he's going at. He's trying to just be thought-provoking here, and it's true. I'm with him. But, man, if Giancarlo couldn't play, we played 3 games, actually. It was 27 innings of outfield. That's not a lot, guys. And we watched the series. We don't miss a game. It's not like he was running to the wall and running into the right field wall and throwing the ball back into a double cut. No. He was camped under balls, catching it and lobbing it back into the infield, and that's all he was doing. And yet we walked to Tampa at George Steinbrenner, and we're like, where the hell's Giancarlo? And what was the report, Jake? Oh, his body is so banged up, he's just not able to play. And we're like, what the hell?
Yeah,
are you kidding me
wild.
right now? And so if we're in this situation where you're down 2 games to Toronto, we have all momentum. The only thing you can do to completely ravage this momentum is look up and say, yeah, Giancarlo's not in the lineup. That's a bummer. But he's actually not in the lineup because he's banged up from playing out in the field, and we're not going to see him for 2 or 3 days. That's devastating for the Yankees. Can't have it. His bat has to be in the game. And Aaron Judge, I would assume, if he's in the outfield and lobbing the ball in, we get the most important thing about both players, the bat. Neither player get paid to go run down fly balls. As impressed as I am with a 6'7" dude running down fly balls and the catch he made today, I'm not that impressed. Give me the bat. And I think that's what Aaron Boone is doing right now. And I think actually it's the right choice, just for me personally.
And we got FIFO here, 2 months up being a Yankees Unloaded member. Best Yankees Unload podcast duo yin and yang, as opposed to yang and yang, which Gary said the other day.
Love that. FIFO, we really appreciate that, man. And thank you for being a member. Guys, we really appreciate all of our members. We're working currently. I'm working on doing the little emojis. I'm not exactly sure what type of emojis people want, and I'm always open to suggestions. So if you guys drop that in the comments, even in the live, I do go back and watch our entire show. I take all recommendations. So we appreciate that. FIFO, thank you. And Brian, the GOAT with the 2, says Team team would be so much better if they sat Volpe. I think we agree. It's just buying into what they used to think, and they just won't get off of it. It's
They
a
would
bad
be more
habit.
consistent. That's really the thing is like, and actually that's what the Yankees are kind of telling us. They care more about the long ball and being right than having consistency and not as much power.
I feel like seeing Volpe at shortstop is like, with Boone making this decision, is like when my mom would tell me not to chew my nails. She's like, why are you still chewing your nails? And I'm like, I don't really know. I just do it. I think that's kind of what Boone would say. So tell me, why is Anthony Volpe the starting shortstop for the Yankees? We're not trying to embarrass him. I really couldn't give a rat's ass. Why does he play over the other options that are at your disposal? What are you aiming for? This isn't personal. And what could he possibly say? Oh, we really want the glove out there. The glove's terrible. Well, we want his arm out there, the decision-making. The arm's not good. The decision-making's not good. So if he's a good base runner, and again, we don't cut any players short, not one. If he's a good base runner, guess who I should see base running for Giancarlo Stanton late in the game in October?
Volpe.
Anthony Volpe. It's a simple equation. One player is here. Another player is not a great player, but he is here in Caballero. There's your answer. You go with the better player who can help the team. Brian, we completely agree. We don't have any remixes to it. It sucks, but we're rooting for the Yankees every day. We hope we win in spite.
I have to share this.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
It's our member guy who we'll hear from. I got the voicemail loaded. 2 voicemails.
So guys, just a reminder, our diamond level memberships are able to leave us voicemails that we read at the end of the show, and Guy always leaves some great voicemails. Look at these numbers. Anthony Volpe, his last 71 games, he is hitting a .168. I mean, that's batting average. Wow, old school, right? The percentage of which you get a hit. Worst in the league. His on-base percentage. You can certainly salvage a bad batting average by taking quality at bats, seeing, I guess, really what Trent Grisham's doing this year. He's a major outlier. He swings at pitches in the zone. Great quality to have, by the way. Love watching it. Anthony Volpe is the opposite. Gets on base at a 215 clip. That's also the worst in baseball. A 53, I hate these stats, weighted run created plus, worst in the league. There's really no way to even, and I did see the person who tweeted this. They were like, I know I cherry picked some stats, but you can't cherry pick. If someone has the worst batting average,
no,
they're almost leading the league in errors.
Let me explain this to you.
And you don't get on base, you're not good.
71 games. Do you realize how long ago that was? So right now, the NFL just started today.
Yes.
There was not a single preseason game. Preseason played in before, when this started.
Yep.
The NFL hasn't even started their preseason yet. I don't even know if they started their training camp yet. That's a lot of games, Gary. That's a big sample size.
Which is our priority here at Yankees Unloaded.
That's almost half the
telling
season.
You guys, we don't like watching one series and then telling you guys what to think. All we do is present long-term data. And then our audience helps us provide that. When you look at numbers for 71 games, 71, it's almost half of an entire baseball season. And there's a lot of people out there who think that we should shorten the baseball season. We don't need 162 to determine how good a team is, how good a player is. How short was the season going to go? 100 games? This is 71. 71 baseball games. It's over 2 months of baseball. And it's unfortunate. I know people talk about how good of a kid he is. Guys, this isn't the YMCA where you're running full court basketball. This isn't the Boy Scouts. This isn't summer camp. This is none of those things. This is professional baseball with millions of dollars on the line, tens of millions of people. This affects economies. What happens to these baseball teams? As silly as that sounds, it does.
No, you're right.
So if the Yankees are in a pennant race and they win a World Series, what does that do? What does New York look like after a World Series championship? And you're going to let this type of behavior and performance actually determine what happens in positive or negative? Insane work. So, Guy, thank you for providing that. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, and I'll add on to this. We were talking about it. I agree with you. You had a good idea. Bo Bichette, shortstop, New York Yankees next year. Who says no?
And you know what's funny about this, though, Jake, is people, they hate doing this because they see Bo Bichette, the Blue Jay, right? And that's always how you look at free agents. You look at them with the shield. Like, what team do they play for? And I don't want to bring him. We had this exact same conversation of people saying, I don't want any Astros, right? No Bregman. Oh, why? Is it because of the fit or he doesn't hit well at Yankee Stadium? Like, what is it? No, it's because he played for the Astros. And we're like, oh, okay. So I'm curious to see the fit as far as what he excels at. I mean, he'd be a great fit. I saw on Twitter, there were a lot of people going, oh, it's a long shot. I'm like, why? Why is it a free agent, a long shot? I don't get it.
I don't see that's where the Yankees are at right now because people are like, well, they're going to sign Bellinger, and if they want to sign Grisham, then they can't sign him. It's like, why can't they sign all three?
I just want good baseball players. I don't overdo free agency because people are like, oh, well, you can't sign everybody. It's like, well, I mean, you can.
You didn't even, like we talked about, you didn't even want a piece of most of the free agents. You and I said it was a mid free agency class headlined by Juan Soto, Max Fried, and the guy that the Diamondbacks guy, whose name is totally escaping me, Corbin Burns.
Right. And by the way, Joey, I do see in the comment section saying about defensive metrics, all this is accurate, completely. Defensive metrics, he's not the best defensive shortstop, but he excels on one side of the ball. And I'll tell you right now, if there's a shortstop out there who's available this offseason, who excels defensively, excels offensively, could we name that player so that I could point all my attention to that player? And if that player doesn't exist, then we have to look at the next best option because George Lombard Jr. is not ready yet. It's just not. So if he was ready, I'd be clamoring for him. I would. So that's where we are. Guy with a super, thank you for the 5, says, does Volpe make you nervous on each throw? No, I've given up mentally. I just pray to God it goes to the glove. And if it does, hooray. If it doesn't, then, it doesn't boggle my mind. It's the expectation. Right, left, low, McMahon makes a throw. It's right on target. Yeah, Ryan McMahon kind of really getting back to what we were just hearing about defensive analytics, right? Joey Cargo, who's in our comments, who's also a member here, mentioned, right, the defensive metrics. The defensive metrics, as far as Ryan McMahon goes, they're sky high. They're sky high. And people don't want to pay $16 million for a glove. Well, the Yankees perceive it is that we have the money, so we can do that. We'll take the glove, and people may be down our back about the bat. And so far, the bat hasn't really worked out, but we're certainly we're benefiting from this glove in a major way. So something that I would accept from Anthony Volpe. If Anthony Volpe lit it up in Baseball Savant defensively, I'd get off his back. I really wouldn't care. Would I want someone who can hit as the starting shortstop? Yeah. I'd probably bring it up a couple times, but no one would be down his back if he was a Gold Glover each and every year, but behind offensively. So that's where we are with Ryan McMahon.
Yeah, you see the fielding run value in 83 percentile, and then you see the range at 90th percentile. So, yeah, as far as Volpe, and we haven't looked at this in a minute, but I don't know who Abbathy is, but
I give you credit for typing in front of over almost 700 people. Guys, by the way, please be sure we have almost 700 in here. I know for a fact when I look down, I won't see 700 likes. Please be sure if you can support our channel with a like. It shouldn't do a damn thing. It does everything. So appreciate that. So that's Volpe with a batting run value of a 4. His fielding value is 13th percentile.
Base running, he's good. We talked about this.
Excellent base runner.
And then oh my goodness, it's lower than I last saw.
So if you guys thought, man, it doesn't seem like Volpe gets to as many balls as I would have really liked him to. Well, he's not the worst at it. He's just 4th percentile. If it was a 1, he would be literally the worst in baseball. A 100 being the best.
-8 outs above average.
Yeah, so when you hear, you'll hear Michael K's coverage, and he'll say, well, guys, would you expect him to be Bobby Witt Jr.? Well, does that Savant page tell you the picture of someone who's just simply not made it to Bobby Witt Jr.'s status? No.
This is a player, ain't a great fielder either, but
horrible fielder.
I'll take all of this.
But that's how it has to look. If you're not a good defense, and I see it in the comment section. I do see it. Donald, thank you for being in there. Thank you. Says Soto, 1 range this year. 1. The worst range in Major League Baseball. Do you think the Mets are crying about it? They didn't pay for him to go flag down fly balls and right. Are you kidding? They put him out there for the same reason that, and I know he's not Barry Bonds, for the same reason Barry Bonds was in left field for the Giants. Hey, go stand out in left field. We don't care what you get to or who you throw out. You're the greatest hitter of all time. Go be that. And that's what you pay for. Some players are good at both, and those guys should be getting paid out the wazoo. But not all players are good at everything. They're just not. And Volpe needs to find which thing he wants to be good at, because I would love to cheer for it.
I agree. And then we have Joshua M. Thank you for the 2. Clone Cody. Home runs worked today. Yanks fought today. Yeah. The home run worked today. Thank you for the super. They did fight today. Ness, thank you for the super. Volpe shouldn't start anymore. Start preparing for playoffs with Caballero. Taking reps from Volpe. Yankees look good otherwise. That's kind of where I'm at. And I know it seems like I'm picking on the guy, but I mean, you look at this roster. Is Wells perfect? No. But like Wells today, huge defensive play, right? It was huge. 2 sack flies yesterday. Okay, Wells, what have you done for me lately? I saw something. He was batting 280 plus around that his last 12 games. We'll take that. Ryan McMahon, the glove, right? He's had some huge plays. And
it's been awesome.
He was pretty clutch the last series against the Astros. So lately, he's doing something. Anthony Volpe, I feel like we talk about him. He gets a hit, breaks this long slump. Maybe he has a home run or something here and there, but it's like he doesn't break out of his slump. I'm tired of hearing that whole, now he's broken out. No. Snapping a 0 for 28 doesn't mean you broke out of it because you had a nice single. Okay? You need.
Is there any player in Major League Baseball who has 0 hits the whole year? Does that exist anywhere? Like any baseball player, guys, be serious here. Is there any player I can just go search up right now who's taken more than 100 bats this year and has 0 hits? Is there any player I can name? No, there's not. So what it means by definition is if you give any player, no matter where they are, they could be Mike Trout in his prime, or they can be Anthony Volpe in the now. They're going to get a hit, and it may be a big hit at some random point in the season. It, as you point out, Jake, it's not an indication that the tides are turning. It's just an indication that he stood up at the box long enough for something good to happen. And I do see Kitty Cat's Heaven, who's in the comment section. Thank you for being in there. Says Volpe is only giving you power. He's not giving you consistent defense or consistent contact. Nothing is consistent. The power is there. He's going to give you 20 home runs every single year. He's only trying to hit home runs, and he doesn't get any hits. So,
but he's only giving you 20 home runs. It's not like he's giving you 40.
It's not a lot. No, it's not a lot.
It's not. I'm not getting Adam Dunn here at shortstop.
I know.
I'm not even getting Brandon. Brandon Phillips hit 30 home runs, and I'm not even getting Brandon Phillips. And Brandon Phillips was good defensively. So, like, what am I getting?
I loved watching Brandon Phillips. If we could get Brandon Phillips was fun. He was good on both ends, and I know they started talking about the analytics. To hell with when I was watching, was a good defender at second base. But having said all this, I just want each and every player. You mentioned Austin Wells. That's the player who sticks out to me. When Austin Wells gets out onto the field, there are a lot of people who said, why the hell is he playing? He's just 2 weeks ago, he was hitting 200. We were talking about the race to the Mendoza line. Who's going to get there first? Wells? Or is it going to be Anthony Volpe? And you learn it's basically impossible to hit 200. Volpe's still hitting 207. He's not hitting anything. But having said this, Austin Wells, here's what he excels at. Framing. It is the most important thing you can do as a catcher. Not hitting, not power, not contact, consistent, anything other than framing. That's why he's out there. And then today, he changed it with his arm. So when you have a guy who's catching your ace, who's going to frame the hell out of the baseball. He's going to be stealing strikes all day, in which he did if you watched the game today. That's why he plays. Every player in our lineup today, every single name that you can name, other than Anthony Volpe, are good at something. They're good at something, whether you like their presence or not. And so that's why I think, even though the Yankees went out there and had 3 hits, they had less hits than they had runs today. They scored exactly how you would expect them to score. We're going to wait for the homer. We hit the home run, and then we're going to try and pitch and close it out. That's how they won. And you're able to do that when the majority of the players out there on the field excel at why they're actually there. That's the beauty in baseball. You don't all have to be Mike Trout. You have to have a role, and you need to excel at whatever the hell that role is.
Yeah. No, I get that, man. I think really that's, again, not to make this all negative and everything, because we did kind of make it a little negative, but they're telling us they are more worried about the home runs and looking right, being right about Volpe. Because obviously, if they bench him, then they have to admit they were wrong. And they're more worried about that than the consistency. That's just the reality of it.
I actually think this is positive. I know it may seem from the surface that it's negative. It's not. So, Scotty Boy 26, thank you a ton for the super. Thank you for getting involved. Says, we are all guilty of being overly critical of the Yanks. Take a look around the league. All of the good teams have looked the best and the worst. So let's just do a brief overview of exactly what Scotty's saying here, and I couldn't agree more. Toronto just allowed a team that a lot of people said are pretenders in the New York Yankees to play bad baseball against really the teams they want to beat, Boston and them. They played bad baseball against those two teams, and then you walked in there after a day off, and they showed up at 6 o'clock in the morning, actually, to be correct. 6 a.m. they showed up after a brutal series with Houston in which they won. They had some momentum, and you allowed that team to have momentum and continue on that momentum, right? Toronto, we've been clamoring about how smart of baseball they've been playing, really how well they executed. Jake, you were talking about John Schneider and the type of managing job he's been doing. He's been doing a great job. He has them prepared. And we love their game plan against Aaron Judge. They've been very passive all year. It's the smart play. Now, having said all of these things, the Blue Jays were great, awesome all year. They just fumbled the biggest series of the year. They're on the ropes now. Could they survive? Absolutely. They're on the ropes. The Red Sox just lost Roman Anthony. They played some of the worst baseball you've ever seen. They lost 12-13 in a row. Then they were hot at the break, and then they fell off a cliff again. That is Boston, right? To Scotty Boy's point, people play bad baseball. The Detroit Tigers, who we don't see Tarek Skubal. Detroit can't win a game. Detroit just lost. They're 4-6 their last 10. They're not playing great baseball. They're not. Anyone who's watching the Tigers, and they deserve credit and respect for being where they are, they're not a great ball club right now. Not at all. Then you look up, Kansas City is surging. Kansas City is now 73-70. Nobody's afraid of Kansas City. Houston, to which a lot of people in our comments, Jake, said, oh, Houston, yeah, you guys handled Houston, but they're not a great team. That's why Detroit's better. Detroit, who won 4 games their last 10? No, so what it shows you is all these teams, they're good teams. They're not great. They're not. So maybe, what to Scotty Boy's point, we can look at the Yankees and say, they're good. They're just not as good as we would like them to be. But look at the field. Seattle's won 4 games the last 10 as well. They can't win a game. Philadelphia, now you're going into the National League. So you see, Jake, when you, at the beginning of the show, described the American League, you said it stunk. It's not very good. There's not a ton of top-end talent. We have to get through a league that doesn't have a lot of top-end talent, that doesn't have a lot of talent that's going to push a team that makes a lot of mental errors, mental mistakes. So, yeah, Scotty, I agree with this. We've been very critical of the Yankees, most of us. You have a shortstop who was a top prospect who's leading the league in errors, or practically. He's not hitting a lick. You've got Austin Wells, who's not hitting a lick either, but he's finally finding his way. You just traded for a player who's really a defensive specialist. There's a lot of things to be negative about, but they're winning games in the most important time of the year. I don't know if you want to give credit to Aaron Boone. I don't know if you want to give credit to Aaron Judge, the captain of this team. I don't know if you want to look at players that we acquired at the deadline and say, hey, you didn't hit a lick today, but you found a way to make an impact. Are they responsible? Who are we giving credit to because we should be a lot happier than a lot of people are. I couldn't be happier as we walk into that Detroit series. I'm out for blood now. I am.
I like that. Yeah, I think it's a little bit of everything. I think Boone deserves some credit. I'm not going to sit here and say he doesn't, because, I mean, he should have already been fired. He should be a dead man walking, but he's still keeping on. He keeps on keeping on. I would say he probably should have already been fired, and I would say he's done some really stupid things, but I also think he's had some good moments as well. More often than not, though, I'm kind of over him regardless. I just am. And I know you are as well.
I understand. Yep.
But I am going to give credit where credit's due. He is the manager. They are turning it around. Yeah. Ninja Hot Dog. Now that it's September, should we call up Jones? Nope. He's actually ineligible to be on the postseason roster now. So you could theoretically call him up, but now he's ineligible. You had to be on the roster on September 1st. I think it's the dumbest rule ever. I hate these like maintenance level rules. These are all over sports, and I just think they're really stupid. It just doesn't make a lick of sense. So basically what you're telling me is if I had all these injuries and stuff, and now I have nobody, I'm just shit out of luck. Like if I can't even field, like, oh yeah, those outfielders, yeah, they weren't. I don't know. I think
that happens in baseball. Injuries happen in baseball. You don't know if Grisham's going to be there. You don't know if Stan's going to be there. No one knows who's going to be there, and you just hate for injuries to be a factor. But Spencer Jones, from a technical standpoint, he just doesn't fit with what we're doing. It's very similar to the reason you don't see Jason Dominguez playing every other day now. You see him once a week. Maybe you'll see him twice. Because the Yankees have finally located. All year they said, we've got good problems to have. We're going to do this rotation. The rotation's coming to not a complete halt, but it's slowing down. You start to see some trends. Who's going to play? Who's not? It's a little bit more predictable. So when you have a Spencer Jones on this roster, and as much as I'm excited to watch him play, they're not going to change anything they're doing right now because everything they're doing is finally resulting in winning. So I want to see Spencer Jones. I would love if the rules would allow us to bring him here and he could be a part of it. But as far as roster goes, it's just not a fit right now.
Yeah, it's they have a lot of stupid rules. A 40-man roster that never allows you to have 40-man, like 40 men on the season. It's just stupid to me. I don't know.
Yeah, and FIFO, we definitely beat the dead horse on Anthony Liability Volpe, but we really appreciate
ALV.
The super. Right. And this is Schmonathan?
Schmonathan, but nice try.
Schmonathan?
It's
Schmonathan?
good for you, man.
Love the picture, by the way. Gotta love that. Welcome to Yankees Unloaded. Appreciate the membership.
Yeah, I'm not mistaken, Gary. I've been mistaken before, but if I'm not mistaken,
we both have.
I believe that is a diamond level member. YouTube is acting all weird, so I'm not actually able to see it right now, but I do believe that is a diamond level member.
And it's not too late to leave that voicemail. So if you're still here listening and you're listening with us, you can leave that voicemail now, and you'll be part of the end of the show. So, yeah, no pressure.
Yeah. I mean, it's getting to be a little late, but you got probably like 20 minutes, I would say.
You got some time.
15.
It should go straight to voicemail. It'll be in there. And where is it, Jake? Exactly.
Yeah, so on the page, if Schmonathan is trying to leave a voicemail, it'll be on the actual page for the YouTube channel. You go to Community tab, you go to Posts, and it'll be there. Members can see the number. We'd share the number, but here's the deal. If we shared the number, I think we'd have 99 voicemails.
Yeah, it would be impossible. It would just be impossible, and we would just have to choose an in now. So, Cunha, thank you for the 2. Says, rat shit's lost. They've been losing. Bills won. Steelers won. Let's go.
So, that must... Sakuna, are you a Steelers fan? A Bills fan? Both?
Or is this the Red Sox? Did the Red Sox lose? Is that who we're talking? No, they won. So I'm assuming talking about the Ravens. Yeah.
That's what I've never heard the Ravens referred to as the rat shits before.
No, that's personal.
So, yeah, like the city of Baltimore hurt you in some way.
Yeah, we appreciate the 2, though. Thank you.
Yeah.
Tim with the 5 says, nothing makes me feel better today. Yanks win 2 series in a row, which were absolutely needed, and a crazy comeback win from the Bills. W from New York tonight. This is a huge W for New York.
I get it.
Big day.
Oh, it was a fun day for me as well. I mean,
how'd the Giants play today?
Are you asking like because you don't know?
No, I'm kidding. I know exactly how they played. I had the what do they call it again, where it's just a tornado of information. What's it called? NFL ticket, Sunday ticket? Nah, Sunday ticket's the games.
Yeah, no.
Red Zone. I was watching Red Zone and I
man.
saw what was going on with the Giants. So
did you see the stat for the Giants? Giants fans, cover your ears. Brutal. This is now the 3rd straight opening day in which the New York Football Giants have not scored a touchdown. 3 straight opening days. Now understand, this is where it gets crazy.
okay.
That is the first time a team has done that since World War II.
I genuinely feel sorry for him. I do.
I always say this. I feel bad for the fans. I just do. Well, unless you're a Detroit fan. I enjoyed the hell out of that today.
Yeah, that's fair.
But
that is definitely fair.
But it's on brand because
with the 5.
Detroit is coming up. So they're the enemy anyway. They're probably,
I know. They are. And my milkshakes with the 5 says, do you guys think that because of analytics, that Ichiro type slap hitter with speed is no longer valuable in today's game? Yes. It's exactly what I'm telling you. Here's what I would say about it. Do I think if Ichiro was currently on the free agent market and he was posted and we knew exactly the type of player he was and how he was performing in Japan, would he be valuable? Would he be valued? He'd probably be just as valuable. People would want to sign him right away. They try to sign him to $300 million deals. Here's the real problem. Players don't develop. When you're in the minor leagues or you're in high school, college baseball, you play in Japan, and you have aspirations to come play in the big league level, why would you want to develop a characteristic about you that front offices aren't looking for? If you look at the Yankees and people think they have just a really great offense, and they'll tell you that they have a great offense because they've got 3, 4, 5 different hitters who are going to hit 30-plus home runs this year. And yet, if you ask the majority of people in our comment section, what do you think about the Yankees offense? They said, it's okay, but it needs to be a little bit more, we need another dimension. Jake, I think that's what a lot of people would say about this team, is that we need to be able to show a team a wrinkle. You can't only hit home runs. And yet, when players go into free agency, if they can defend and hit home runs, it makes you highly valuable in today's game. So amateurs want to look at it and go, I want to throw 100 miles an hour. I want to strike out a bunch of guys. Who cares how many guys I walk? If I'm a hitter, I want to hit the ball 450 feet. I want to be 6'2", 6'3". I just want to be exactly what they're looking for. So yeah, my milkshakes, appreciate the super. Jake, I'm curious to know what you think about it. I think analytics actually, what they've done, yes, we've made it less valuable to be a Luis Arias, be a contact guy, but also amateurs don't want to be that because they're not looking for it.
I would say this. Luis Arias is not fast at all.
Right.
So Ichiro, and that's the thing that makes Ichiro so great. You go back to the year, he has a single season record of 262 hits. Okay? He hits 372. But on top of that, he has a 455 slugging. He only hit 8 homers that year. But he found a way to slug 455. And he ended up with an 869 OPS. With Luis Arias, you're not getting that. What are you getting with Arias? Be honest. This is the thing. Best season he's had was 200 hits, right? His slugging percentage wasn't over 400. His best, I think he had one year where his slugging percentage did go over 400, yes. But actually, since that, he really hasn't been that player. Like for the Padres, I mean, he has a 727 OPS. He actually had an 834 OPS with Miami. I hear this all the time about Arias. It's not that he doesn't work. It's not like his brand of baseball doesn't work in this league. It's that he's regressed. Like, people bring him up all the time. Like, his brand of baseball doesn't work. It does. He's just regressed. The slugging percentage went way down, right? And that's the thing.
It works, but is it as valued? Is it as valued on the market? If he was on the market and after a career year, right, 200 hits, the slugging still isn't there. He wasn't slugging. He just wasn't. It was better than what it is now because he's just not slugging a lick. But if he was hitting 350, not slugging a lick, not playing any defense, would he be considered as valuable as a good defensive shortstop who's got pop? Probably not. And that's just kind of where our game's gone. The game has changed because they perceive it as everyone's throwing 100 miles an hour. We're not trying to string together hits. Well, I'm here to tell you guys right now, the contact game has never been more valuable. That's actually my argument, and it's something, Jake, you mentioned, and I bought this jersey today, by the way. Jake, you mentioned that it's a pendulum, and people just respond to different things at different times. Sometimes the run game is in, and everyone's running the football. And then next thing you know, someone's like, oh my God, they're throwing the ball? We should do that. They're the outlier. Then what do you see? Oh, it's a passing league. Then the best team in football in a given year is like, we're going to go back to just prioritizing running the ball. And suddenly it looks like the right thing to do. So what am I saying here? When you're in a game where everyone's just trying to hit home runs and just waiting for bombs, you actually might be able to lean the other direction and be an outlier. What do you think Toronto's doing right now? You guys think it's just a miracle that they're sitting 2 games up on us in the American League East? It's not. They've bought into contact. Springer, put the damn ball in play. Bichette, put the damn ball in play. They lead the league in hitters hitting over 300. It's
so
not a
funny
surprise
that you say that.
So they're going the opposite direction of analytics, and is it something that everyone should just agree to do? No, I wouldn't argue that. People can do what they want. But I can tell you guys, the contact game and just kind of ignoring analytics a little bit and just getting back to what we really where we started in this game, how it looked in the 90s, what it looked like in the early 2000s, where you could see players like Ian Kinsler, you see players, you look at Placido Polanco, dudes who put the ball in play consistently. That's never going to become just irrelevant. And it's a pain in the ass to play again. So, yeah, I hope eventually we get to a point where we bring that onto our roster. I do.
I love that you mentioned that running back thing because it's so spot on. Did you know there were only 2 running backs today? Not today, just today, Friday, and Thursday. So in the NFL for week 1, obviously we don't know how tomorrow will go. Only 2 running backs went over 100 yards. 2.
Yep.
Before today's game. Obviously, we know that Derrick Henry went over it. But then, what's even crazier, carries. Running backs, there were only 2 that went over 20 carries. One of which was a guy who everybody thinks is his knee or Achilles is going to... Christian McCaffrey had the most carries today. The point being is that we were just talking about this. Last year, it just felt like, everybody was using the run game. Looks like the pass game is back. And so things go in waves. There's ebbs and flows. And that's why it's so interesting when you have dynasties in sports, right? Because it's not just you have to be good for a certain amount of time. It's not that you just have to be good. It's that you have to understand that you might have to adapt. And that's the thing. I do think there's some teams that have adapted. There's some teams that haven't. We've done
it a little bit, right? We did it with Cody Bellinger. We brought in players that at least are trying to do something
definitely
different. Is it a marriage the other way? No, but
ironically, do you know when it started?
No.
When they got Alex Verdugo. That's when they started making that attempt.
I would agree with that because they were just sitting there clapping. They're like, but at least he doesn't strike out. The contact rate, we're like, but he's also... When we say we like contact, we don't mean just fart a ground ball over to the second baseman. That's not contact. That's contact if there's a man at second base and I need him to get over. That's something I'll clap like a seal about. But if you want me to get stoked because instead of striking out 0-2, you hit an 0-2 little wiffle ball ground ball over to first base, well, that's not really what we're saying. What we're saying is that you're a pesky at bat. Could I describe you as a pesky at bat, or do you just go down 3-4 pitches and walk back to the dugout like you're unfazed, that you were just a non-factor of an at bat, or did you take 3 at bats and they all look the same? That's sort of what we're trying to go away from. And Sacunia wanted to offer some context with the 2. Our last super chat, thank you for the 2, said Steelers fan, but I like Allen, hate the rat shits.
You're funny. Congrats to your Steelers. That was a fun game. Did not expect Steelers Jets to go over, what was it, 66 total points? Insane.
Love this, by the way. Absolutely love it. When we're on the topic of positivity,
oh yeah,
Joey says, I'd take Quan. I mean, of course, Stephen Quan is just light years better of a baseball player. If you can get him, great. But you're also talking about via trade. That's a heavy trade package. I think a lot of people expected him to be traded to the Dodgers. They need an outfielder. Michael Conforto is just not a good baseball player this year, unfortunately for them. And yeah, if we can get Stephen Quan, I would love that. But none of that's available right now. We will absolutely talk about that in the winter when we have our winter meetings coverage. We have all the coverage going on into January. Jake, that's going to be fun.
Yes, it is. And I want to say this before we get into our voicemails.
Yeah.
I got to be honest. I get why people in our comments section, it was a few weeks ago, maybe a month or so ago, but they talked about how at Yankee Stadium on the Tron, it got rid of average and put OPS. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. I don't like it at all. I don't understand why you would replace the batting average. To me, I thought that was so cool the way they had it, and it's a sign of the times, and I like OPS, but I get why people are upset by it. When I looked over and I was looking at our roster, and I'm seeing like 702 for Jason Dominguez, and I'm like, what the hell? What? And it's like, oh, it's OPS. It hit me, and I was just like...
They make the assumption that young fans are aware of ops
more
than they are batting average. They resonate more with, okay, they how many runs do they drive in? How many home runs did they hit? Not how many times did they strike out? Not can I rely on them with bases loaded? Can I rely on them at all with runners in scoring position? I actually, by the way, Jake, I didn't have too much of a problem that batting average got off the screen. But if you're going to do that, you better at least give us the real context. Give us batting average with runners in scoring position. Do that.
I like that. Or have like a situational thing, right?
Yeah.
Like
give me something
like,
situational. I need something. Don't just tell me ops. Because I'll tell you right now, when you look up at our ops, we've got a lot of players. League average ops is, Jake, 700.
Yeah.
Well, Austin Wells, as much as we have high hopes for Austin Wells ops is above league average. So whatever you guys think about Austin Wells and what he's done, the totality of it, it's still, if you looked at the Yankees Jumbotron and you caught one game a year and you went with your dad, well, you would just look up at the Jumbotron and be like, oh, Austin Wells is doing his thing. No, not really. He's been struggling all year. But
yeah, it just doesn't tell the full story.
It doesn't tell the full story exactly. Power hitters, it skews heavily towards power hitting teams. And I think they know that, but I guess let's just lie.
Well, Ninja Hot Dog, I think the Yankees would be smart to do this.
Oh, the Savant page?
Score a deal with Savant.
That'd be awesome.
Score a deal with Savant. My only thing is they wouldn't do it because for every player they'd be fine with, but Anthony Volpe, they'd be like, nope, it makes him look too bad, and we have our own analytics, so we're not going to do that.
There's no part of his Savant page that would look good. So, but Ninja, we really appreciate that. Yeah, let's get to our diamond level voicemails.
Oh, and
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, no, definitely. And
what's up?
I will say, at least it doesn't say OPS plus or like weighted runs created. I would like break things.
That would be devastation.
If that happens, just let me know. I'll get in my bunker and I'll assume that we're about to. It's the end of the world. It's nuclear apocalypse.
And I do think we are. Things bounce different directions. I think analytics can be very helpful. I don't want to just completely reject them. You can't marry them. Just use them periodically.
It's so funny
use
you
it
say
in
that.
an obvious way. If you're going to just tell me a player I watched struggle the whole year and you're going to tell me how they're favorable analytically, then the analytic is just misused. Let's just call it what it is. If I watch every single game of 162 baseball games, Jake, I won't have missed more than 20 pitches any game the whole year. We cover this team every day. I don't miss a damn thing. Nothing. I am glued, sitting down. I don't go to the bathroom without my phone or a computer to watch the damn game. I don't go anywhere to miss the Yankees. No. And you're going to tell me some analytic you spun us, weighted runs created plus. If I see that up on the screen, I don't know what to tell you. I don't.
Yeah. You know what weighted runs created plus is? Because as you know, covering the NFL, they're pushing the next gen stats. I like some of it. I will tweet it all out because I think people care about it, right? So I want to get that information to people that don't know how to find the information. Right. That said, rushing yards over expected makes me so angry because people don't take that and look at it as a tool. They take it and now they're like, yeah, this running back's trash because he's had negative 72 yards under expected. And I'm like, bruh, it's not as simple as that. They're trying to say that based on a certain, I don't even understand it, to be honest with you, but they're saying based on a certain play, that a running back either did more than what was expected of them or did less. I think that is.
They'll just read. They're like, oh, the left tackle had a pancake block. So if you're a running back and the play was a stretch to the left, you should run for at least 8 yards. Then you run for 5, which is a good run in the NFL. And they're like, -3, not good run.
Exactly.
Well, did you watch the game? It doesn't seem like you did based on those type of numbers. So, yeah, we like analytics. We've definitely used them on this show. But the obvious analytics, okay, if I look at and I see you're not a good base runner, let's go take a look. Let's see if there's any indication, if it's telling that story. If somebody is a bad base runner all year and they're making they don't know the outs all year, and I look up and then the thing says, oh no, they're 75th percentile, then I'd go, okay, well, I can probably disregard that at least a little bit. But some of these things really do add up. They tell the story, and those are the ones we usually head towards. So, yeah.
And we
How many voicemails do we have tonight, by the way?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
We have 7 voicemails. I can't wait. I'm telling you now. I can't wait to hear Ninja, because Ninja, you were talking all types of mess yesterday that we weren't winning this game, and the Yankees right now, and obviously we're having a bunch of fun, we're here. Credit to Toronto, played a great year so far. We just won the biggest series of the year. We called it that. Even while we were in Houston, we were looking ahead. This is what it is. So can't wait for you to click it. Let's go.
This is way more fun than yesterday when I felt like a total zombie the entire time.
I don't blame you.
Let's go. All right. Starting with Guy.
Hey, everyone. Calling with today's report and predictions. Not much to report. I think the Yankees max will give us 6+ and shorten the game. Jazz, I have a feeling will go deep and possibly Billy. And I see the Yankees winning the game 6-3 with possibly a couple late runs. And
not bad.
Oh, and I don't want to see Williams in any high leverage situation. So, my fear is there. I think most people agree. And that's it. All right.
Well, you missed Jazz home run by like that much. It like just hooked foul. And Devin Williams did come in. Not just come in, he came in a very high leverage situation. But no, we appreciate that guy. And Guy's got another one. This one wasn't long after, so I don't know if we're going to get the full... We're not going to get the post game, it looks like. But anyway.
Hi. Had something in my throat. If anyone's been following what I post and what I've wanted to talk about, I've been boosting St. Wells for quite a while. Through his last 9 games, you can see his confidence is growing again. When he started hitting balls hard to the opposite field the way he has, I'm starting to see the guy that I believed would be a 235 hitter with power. He will finish this year with over 20 home runs as a catcher. Very productive. Volpe has close to 1,700 at-bats. This is the area where you can say somebody is going to make it or not. Wells has only 777 at-bats, less than half of what Volpe had. Rice needs to play first base because Wells will be the catcher next year, I believe. His defense is superior, in my opinion. He's one of the top framers in the game and has a stronger arm. Rice throws out about 16% of his runners trying to steal, where Austin Wells is near the top at 26.7%. So those who say that Wells doesn't have an arm, his stats prove otherwise. Things that are said out there, like on X, that seems to snowball because so-and-so, maybe a clickbaiter says it. Examples, they keep bringing up that the ABS will wipe out framing, which somebody might have thought if they're listening to this. No, it won't. There's only 2 ABS challenges per game. ABS isn't used to call every ball and strike. And I'm out.
Guys just speaking facts. I don't know. I mean,
could I argue it actually even makes Austin Wells even more valuable? No one said this yet, but I was just really thinking about it. And I think people who watch the game, they know exactly what the ABS system is going to do. There's just a challenge system. There's going to be 2 challenges. And eventually, as time goes on, teams are going to say, Ohtani and Judge, you guys get the challenges. When you send up the 8 and 9 hitters, we know we don't want bad calls for you either. We're saving it, right, for the end of the game. Or we're going to save it for the better hitters. But could there be an argument that if Austin Wells is the catcher in 2026, he is one of the best framers in the sport. I think he's 96th percentile, somewhere in that range. If he steals what is a ball, and he steals that and it's now a strike in the 3rd or 4th inning of a game, isn't it more likely that a team will challenge, maybe even, incorrectly, or think that because of his pedigree of stealing strikes, they may challenge something they maybe shouldn't? I think it brings so much more of a factor to catching. Whereas hitters, they may say, no, this guy's known for stealing strikes. That was a ball. And he may force his manager to challenge a call, and they could lose that challenge, and it's advantage the other team. So, yeah, I don't look at this situation with ABS and think Austin Wells becomes irrelevant. If it was a fully automated strike zone where it's just a robot umpiring, yeah, Austin Wells becomes relatively useless, other than maybe blocking in today's throw. But overall, yeah, he would become useless. But that's not the system, Jake. So we're both high on Austin Wells. It hasn't been the best year despite the home runs, but we think there's a lot in store later. We're just not sure when that comes out.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. I love the voicemails from Guy. The Austin Wells thing, I was waiting for him because I knew he was going to start talking about him throwing guys out. I think just the timing, man. This was, by the way, was recorded at 12:37 p.m. I don't know if you knew that. This is before the game. So he nailed it. Next up, we have Kyle Malay at 4:27 p.m. I believe that was right after the game.
Hey, Jake and Gary. This is Kyle Malay. Great win by the Yankees today. Good thing it's not a hitting competition because the Yankees only had 3 hits to the Blue Jays 8. But good thing it's a scoring competition and not a hitting competition. Else we would have lost. But yeah, 2-3 from the Blue Jays. I'm starting to believe in this Yankees team. I don't know if I should, but gosh, they're bringing me back in because last month I thought we were out. But yeah, let's go. Let's have a good off day tomorrow, and then go beat the Detroit Tigers at least 2 out of 3. And then on the weekend, I would like them to sweep the Red Sox. That would be wonderful. And then, gosh. Yeah, so far I'm 2 for 2 today because my Steelers won and then the Yankees won, and now I'm just waiting on the NASCAR race and see if Chase Elliott can win. But yeah, let's all have a good day, and hopefully the Yankees have a good off day tomorrow. Hopefully you guys have a good show, and let's go Yankees. Let's go beat Detroit one series at a time.
Love it.
Look at that. Kyle, we were giving up on the Yankees last month. Now it's one series at a time. So the Yankees were trying it at the time while they were losing, which is a bad time to tell us. They were trying to tell us we're just going to take it one at a time. Eventually they got there in the ugliest of fashions, but Jake, we're here. We made it.
It is true. We finally made it. And I mean, is this not just a baseball season? Man, feels like, this is how I would say. Feels like now our second year covering this team, almost done with the full season. This feels like it's been 4 separate seasons. It's insane. Like, I always have to remind myself, we were talking about Pablo Reyes at one point. Upset that he was in the lineup.
Forever ago.
Yeah, that was different. No one can tell me otherwise. I'm convinced.
The Cabrera
that was a different
injury,
season.
that felt like a millennium ago.
Yeah.
This season, obviously, if you skipped around and you took a couple months off and got into a Netflix show and then came back to Yankees baseball, it probably feels fine, par for the course, and they're just where you'd kind of want them to be at the right time. If you watch, I'd say more than 100 games this year, you'd be like, what the hell is this team? We look like one of the worst baseball teams you've ever seen. Yeah, Big Boss Baby Bomber says, if we win the World Series, Pablo Reyes will get a ring. And I wouldn't be upset at all. I don't care if they want to give the parents of the players rings at this point. We need to win a World Series. I don't know when it's going to show up, but, man, Pablo Reyes.
What a
shout
name,
out to him.
by the way. Big Boss Baby Bomber. That's a combination of Metal Gear Solid 3, Snake Eater, and the Yankees.
Big Boss Baby Bomber.
Yeah,
We've
Big
got
Boss
some great
is the main
names in
character
here,
in the game.
regardless.
It's true. And then there was one that I was just going to throw up because I thought was funny. Must be nice to have a football team that isn't pure garbage. Poor Joey. Thank God for the Yankees. Also, poor Joey. Hopefully, they bring a
Also,
World
Joey's a
Series
Giants
this year.
fan?
I would assume.
I'm very sorry, Joey. You chose wrong as a child.
Let's be honest here. There were only 3 teams today that looked like pure garbage.
Look, Panthers.
Panthers looked horrendous. The Dolphins and the Giants. So you're either a Panthers, Dolphins, or Giants fan.
Everyone else at least had some entertainment.
Yeah, I think
Something.
the Panthers will be fine.
Oh, he's a Panther fan.
It's funny I said that before that. I think the Panthers will be okay. I have them winning 7 games. I think they'll be okay. But if you like the Miami Dolphins or you like the New York Giants, well, even the Giants, who knows? Jackson Dart might give you something to root for.
I'd say the Dolphins, they're in the worst spot, I'd say.
Yeah, because Tua Tagovailoa, everyone's been talking about him being better. I just see a guy that's regressing. So, and that team's just not that talented. So yeah, we appreciate you, Kyle. And there it is, Gary.
Thank you,
Ninja
Kyle.
Hot Dog.
Oh, Ninja, you better be apologetic. Let it fly.
Well, Gary, turns out you were right. You were correct. I was wrong. The Yankees did win the series, which I'm happy about. They were the first place team. They still are, but we have a much better shot now. We have to just take care of things in Boston. Overall, I did like what we saw. Austin Wells finally threw a runner out, which I always like to see. That, in my opinion, that's more important than framing, honestly. Can you throw out the runner? And he's historically had a lot of trouble with that, but he finally did it. So let's hope he keeps that up. Fried, he had a bit of a shaky start, but he held it together and only gave up 3 runs, which I definitely am happy about. And our offense was able to come through. Ben Rice got us the dub, and I think we need to hold on to Ben Rice. There's a lot of potential. He is one of our most clutch bats right now, and always fire Baboon.
Perfect timing for it. So,
I'm waiting for the World Series one. If they win, or the voicemail, fire Baboon.
perfect. It'll be perfect. So, obviously excited about Fried and what he did. It wasn't pretty, but he found a way to grind. This was a grinded out game. It couldn't have gone the other way. Couldn't. It couldn't possibly punt to the next start. I don't care who you're facing. I don't care if it was Detroit. I don't care if it was the next series. That win wouldn't be as nearly as important as this one. It creates momentum, and this is the type of game where when Garrett Cole's healthy, this is the type of game you want to throw him the ball. You just know they're going to find a way to get it done, and Max Fried, in a roundabout way, got off the mound in a success. And that's what it had to be. So credit to him. I thought it set the tone for the entire day. If Max Fried couldn't grind his way through this game in an ugly fashion, we're looking at 4 or 5 arms out the bullpen. That outing of what you see Devin Williams, and I know not everyone was thrilled about it, you would have probably seen another 2 arms come out to the mound. I promise you those names would have looked worse. So huge thanks to Max Fried with that outing. Big time. Honestly, saved the season. He really did.
Yeah, no, Max Fried was huge today. Austin Wells' throw was huge. Ben Rice's hit, his homer was huge. I thought those were like the really key moments of this game. But the Bellinger double in the third is what won the game, essentially. It was the last run that was scored. So,
wasn't a hitting contest, as Kyle said.
What a wild day. I was watching this, and this got a full screen, right? This got the full screen and everything. And I had 2 octo boxes, or I had 2 quad boxes, because, I have like a million monitors here. I have a control center. And I had the 2 quad boxes on my like 49-inch monitor taking up the full 49 inches. And then on my like one monitor, I could see full screen. It was the Yankees game. I was bad at that, though, because I kept just looking at the Yankees game. And then I would like look down and yeah, but football's back, and that means we're getting close to October. And the Yankees they just won their 80th game of the year. And at one point, it felt like they were only going to win 80 games. So we'll take it. We will absolutely take it. But, man, appreciate that, Ninja. And now we got Mark, who left us a voicemail. Here we go.
Hey, guys, Mark here. I just want to say I'm feeling excited. I'm not getting to that point yet. But so far down this 12-game stretch, we're 4-2. Let's keep it going. Let's get it done. Our last 3 matchups are very easy. We got Baltimore, I believe, Chicago, Baltimore. So let's keep this going. Let's keep the streak going. Let's keep the momentum going. Let's keep the pitching going, man. Devin Williams came in. Slight heart attack with that man on second, but he got it done.
Agreed.
He got it done in a high-leverage position. That was amazing to see. Max Fried, of course, always giving us solid innings. Gave up the 3 runs, but he settled in. Let's not talk about Volpe in that error. I don't want to discuss the negatives, but I'm sure we're going to discuss it. But we gotta clean that up. That's not going to work in the playoffs, man. And guys, el oso, baby, let's go, Bednar, man. The shutdown closer. We got a closer now. We didn't even use Luke Weaver today. Obviously, we couldn't. He was on rest, but still, I'm liking the way this is going right now. I'm liking the momentum. We just need to play a little smarter, a little better, more efficient ball. Let's go, Yankees.
Love the energy. That was probably the best energy we've had in a voicemail. So that was awesome. By the way,
yes,
Max
you said
Fried,
dog. By the way, that means the bear.
Right.
El Oso.
If Max Fried pitched 5 instead of 7 innings today, I mentioned that we would have thrown more arms. That's the obvious, right? Everyone knows that.
Yeah.
But if he gave us 5 innings and was shut out, would it be a better performance? I don't think so. I don't. And that's really just par for the course in today's game. It's not just Yankees. Look across the league. You see it all the time. Tyler Glass now, he's pitched this year and not often, but this is for the Dodgers, right? Blake Snell, same deal. Those guys are pitching really well. I mean, but at the same time, those guys will come off the mound in the 5th, and they have to go to their bullpen and strain guys out the pen. Roman De Los Santos says Jake looks like Ed Sheeran.
I don't see it. I've been told I look like Johnny Manziel, Tom Holland, the guy from Saved by the Bell.
Tom Holland, I don't see.
Who's the other one I was told? I can't remember. But I've never heard Ed Sheeran before.
Ed
I don't
Sheeran.
know. That is wild.
That just made my night.
You liked
Roman.
it.
What?
You like the Ed Sheeran comparison.
It's funny.
And then
That's awesome.
you're telling me a win is a win. Man. Took a year off my life, but we're good. The waiter from I never saw Saved by the Bell, so I don't know.
Me either.
I think Screech. I think I know the person that played Screech passed, unfortunately, but yeah, someone said I look like Screech, and to be fair, I had like this giant, like, not afro, but I had a lot of like curly hair. I
But
don't
the
have
afro
that anymore.
helps. Right.
Yeah, so like obviously I don't. Shaved head, Seth Rogen's cousin. Oh,
Wow.
God. Anyway.
Yeah, but I just thought the length today was the most important thing. You get 7 innings. You just can't win without length. And we're going to start paying a premium for arms that
true.
can stay in the game. We should be. Teams should be looking at players, and it sucks that Corbin Burns was lost for the year for Arizona, but there should be more value placed on pitchers that are attempting to, I'll pitch to a little bit more contact so that I can be available to help out my bullpen. I mean, you're not going to pay me $200+ million, and I'm going to be a run preventer and come out in the 5th. Kidding me? You might as well put you in the bullpen and have you be a long reliever. Make you be right, Ryan Yarborough, right? Just a high prize Ryan Yarborough. It can't happen. We need length, and we got that. So big time.
I'm excited. I liked Mark's voicemail a lot, and yeah, I'm really excited about Bednar. I mean, you got your closer. You had your closer last year with Weaver. Now you have Weaver and Bednar.
Does he have some nuts on him? That dude's scared of nothing. You guys
No.
think that people, and there's certainly players that are afraid to pitch in New York, and I can't blame them, right? If you have bad results, you're going to get shit all over in the post game. They're going to ask you left and right why it didn't work. What's the reason it didn't work? Tell me everything about this bad performance. These players all know it's there. Devin Williams dealt with it. And when it's in the positive, you're almost out the limelight for a bit, right?
Yeah.
David Bednar is just not afraid of any of this, which is nice to see. Does it mean it's going to work every time? No. But I can tell you right now, with man on first and second, 1 out, and it's a championship series or a World Series, who do I want on the mound? It's probably David Bednar. Love that.
I will say, the Steelers W today, but the Renegade part by Styx, they actually, Gary, you might have seen this because I think they've shown on the broadcast before, but they actually play Renegade by Styx because that was Bednar's walkout song for the Pirates.
I did not notice that.
They brought it over and they did the light show.
Okay.
The light show is cool, but I bet you it hits way differently when it's at about 10 p.m. and it's dark as opposed to like an overcast still kind of day. Like, because when I was there, they did it and it just made me feel weird because it was like, wait, is the power going out? Like, it didn't
It was
feel
just pissing
like
rain.
Yeah.
You need to see it in a postseason game would be great. So
That would be cool.
Let's get there and then we'll enjoy that.
Because, yeah, they were like, psh, 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 they were like flashing it. So there were some
Right.
people complaining, look, this is going to give me a stroke. But, hey, it was kind of a cool intro. I don't know. I liked it. I mean, it's not Enter Sandman or anything like that. But, hey, I like the I mean, batters have their own walkout music. So, like, why can't, closers have theirs? Anyway.
True.
We move on. Chris, 99.
How many more we have?
We got 2 more.
2 more. Chris, let it fly.
Momentum, momentum, momentum. We have momentum. We've got to keep going. What a great series win by the Yankees. Again, that is 2 of the 4 in the 4 series gauntlet. A lot of people didn't think we'd be here. We're here so far, but the job is not done. Great game. Max Fried struggled early, bounced back and gave us 7 huge innings.
Crazy.
Great performance by Max Fried in the end. Devin Williams had that first AB walk, and everyone's like, up.
Devin Williams, he's going to blow it. Strikes out Vlad, then gets 2 more outs. Huge. David Bednar, dog. And Aaron Judge doing it without swinging the bat. He had 1 at-bat that counted as a strike, and he had 3 walks, I believe. Saved the run, which would have tied the game, too. So he did it without the bat, which is huge. Ben Rice, and I mean, Ben Rice is just Ben Rice, dude. He's going to hit homers. And not just homers, too. He just hits the ball hard. And they were relaying signs, which is great. And I don't understand why the Jays or any other team still complain about that's the signs doing in legal ways. Like, just be better at not showing what you're throwing, you know? But, again, great win. You got to carry this momentum into Detroit because Toronto's still playing games, and you never know when a team can get hot. So you just got to keep riding the wave, and you just got to hope that the Blue Jays kind of keep stumbling. Now it's 2. Take advantage, keep winning games, because the division is close. I'm not making predictions, but this is close. Let's go get this division. Let's go Yankees.
Yeah, Toronto's got a tough schedule, Jake. They do.
They got Houston next.
We don't. And by the way, and for those of you who are saying, oh, wait a minute, Toronto was complaining about the Yankees stealing signs, I'm going to go ahead and read you exactly what Blue Jays manager John Schneider had to say postgame. He said they were relaying pitches. They're good at it. Major League Baseball knows the Yankees are good when they have something. Maybe I'm the only one that's going to say it publicly, and he's probably right, but you have to do a better job of making sure we're not giving anything away. So here's my question. Why would you tell the media that the Yankees are stealing signs when you just told us that you guys need to do a better job of hiding it? So if you guys need to do a better job of preventing it, why are you telling us?
Yeah.
It just seems like a way to create a distraction for a team that has momentum. And I think that's exactly what his intention was. It takes the attention off the fact that the Yankees just showed up and kicked you right in the jaw. It's exactly what happened. So people can say what they want about where Toronto stands, where the Yankees stand, what these teams really are. But when you leave the series and you start talking about sign stealing rather than the results, you're kind of wasting our time. So the fact that he said this, I thought was just nonsense. I thought it was ridiculous. And it's a nothing burger. It doesn't deserve really any deep coverage from anybody.
I agree. Yeah, no, I mean, I think the whole, Devin Williams striking out Vlad, I'm glad he brought that up. That was kind of huge. I mean, that's not something you should take for granted. That's not easy. He's been a Yankee killer. That's the reality of it. So, no, I like that you said that, though. I do agree. And this was once again, Chris, we appreciate the voicemail. Another really good voicemail.
If we had iPads behind the plate with cameras and 4K cameras, and we're literally taking the signs. If he wants to say something to the media, we deserve that 100%. But to sit up here and say, oh, from second base he had his arms down, so he was relaying to the hitter. We had 4 hits today and we beat you. Yeah. 3. We had 3 hits.
Also,
why
to
are
be
you
fair,
telling us
won
about
11
sign
of
stealing?
the last 14. So I don't think that's all coming just from stealing signs.
It's a pointless. It was a pointless exchange with the media, in my opinion. I don't know how you feel about it, Jake, but man, I didn't get I didn't get what was the service, what was behind it, why?
My thing is this. I'll compare it to the whole thing in the NFL with taunting. Okay, the taunting penalties. If you don't like it, stop doing it. Right? Stop it. Like, think about this. If I don't like when people taunt me, even though I'm a grown man, you know what I can do? Play better. Not allow them to taunt me. Right? Well, you know what you can do when you're tipping pitches? Stop tipping pitches.
Yeah, I felt that way when whoever the hell was it, Madison Bumgarner's giving up bombs to Max Muncy into the, right, you're talking about into the water in San Fran, and he's sitting there, run down the bases. You know what you could do to prevent this? Strike him out. You don't have to worry about it. So if you're going to sit here and be like, I can't believe the Yankees were stealing signs, and you just said we have to do a better job of stopping it, if we did, it wouldn't be a problem, then talk to your players, don't talk to us.
It's
wasting
like
my time.
You go to the you go to the company that takes out X amount of dollars, whether it be your car payment, your rent, and you're like, well, that's not fair because I don't have any money. Okay, well, stop spending it all.
It's stupid.
You know what I mean? It's like that's still on you.
Rowdy, appreciate the 2. Not reading that, but yeah, we get it. You don't like Volpe. We don't love him either. We'll figure out what we're doing this winter. We'll cover it. We have no idea. No clue.
Yeah. Anyway, Ed W. to end this. Tried to meet up with Ed. It's not easy at Yankee Stadium. I tried to meet up with a lot of people. It's not easy. But anyway.
Hey guys, Ed W. here. As I was watching the show, something occurred to me. I was thinking about Aaron Boone's claim that Anthony Volpe's fielding was, quote, elite. So I decided to make a little bit of a deep dive into Anthony Volpe's 19 errors this season, and I discovered something interesting. His fielding errors have actually gone down. Only 6 of the 19 errors are fielding errors. 13 are throwing errors. I'd like to know what you guys think that's about. Is the fact that Anthony Volpe is having more throwing errors, which theoretically are mental, mean that something's up with him, that something's affecting his game? What exactly is that? I mean, it can't be like fielding errors like, oh, I had a physical error or I'm getting to more balls. These are throwing errors. What do you think that's about? Number one. Number two thing that occurred to me as I was watching the show yesterday is that you guys were covering the fact that the Yankees actually had a couple of sac flies. They drove in a run on a base hit and didn't hit any home runs and scored some runs. And today we're pretty much back to where we were before, where other than Cody Bellinger, who actually plays baseball on a regular basis, the Yankees' runs all came from home runs. Well, I actually looked at that also, and the Yankees are the number 3 team in sacrifice flies, which I interpret to mean that they're scoring runs on sac flies regularly. It's just that they're missed home runs. So I actually didn't see yesterday's game the way you did, Gary, that the Yankees were changing the way they scored, playing great baseball because they didn't hit home runs but scored a few runs. I think this is more of the same. I really hope to God that this home run derby baseball is enough to win, but I'd like to get your thoughts as to whether or not you think we're in this for the long haul and anything's going to change, or we're going to cross our fingers and see if we can homer our way to a World Series. Again, great show, guys, and I look forward to hearing from you.
That's a great super because
yes, it is.
What it does, it challenges something that we've said. I love that. So
100%.
We're going to start off. We're going to do this in order. The throwing errors. Anthony Volpe technically isn't really booting balls. He's getting the ball in his glove. The issue is that's not the end of the job. You've got to get rid of the ball on time and strong enough over to first with accuracy and give it to the first baseman. That's the job. You need to be able to play catch. And really what the actual voicemail was indicating and what those numbers said is that he plays catch worse than any other shortstop in the game, right? And this is part of the reason why earlier this year you have John Boyce questioning, you're talking about Aaron Boone now, saying, well, what's going on with the arm accuracy? And Aaron Boone goes, what? Well, arm accuracy is one of the... He freaked out. He lost his mind. But yet the numbers tell you exactly that story. He's not struggling to put the ball in his routine ground ball to shortstop. Volpe's getting the ball in his glove. The issue is he can't get it to the first baseman. So what it tells me is either he's just a terrible thrower of the baseball. That's certainly a possibility. But also, it could be that he's not healthy because we've never seen him struggle. We've seen him struggle in terms of arm strength. But arm accuracy to this level, you don't make errors by throwing the ball weak to first base. You make errors by throwing it inaccurately. That's the problem. So is he healthy? I have no idea. I see it in the chat from HS. He's a second base arm. I'm not here to clamor and hype up Anthony Volpe for something he's not doing, but Anthony Volpe can't throw the ball accurately from shortstop to first base at all, and it wasn't as much of a problem before. So I'm not sure exactly why it's happening. All I know is that it is, and they've got to solve that. And Jake, about the sac flies, this can absolutely, you can make that judgment. Definitely. Austin Wells leads the league in sac flies. No one would have guessed that, But also, Austin Wells usually only impacts the game when he's hitting home runs. Well, home runs are in the air, and sac flies more times than not, they just look like home runs that ran out of gas. More times than not. So you can definitely have that judgment. You can look at this team and say, no, the offense looked more the same. They didn't have a ton of hits. They didn't run the bases like a bat out of hell. It wasn't anything unique we saw. Really, the big difference was what our starting pitching did. Having some actual, just being able to get further on into the game and really have guys in our bullpen to show some balls and get through the game, that was really the difference maker. So what did you think about the Volpe throwing errors? Like, do you think this is physical? Is it mental? Does he have the yips? Is he just a bad fielder that needs to figure out how to throw? And then obviously the sac fly thing, because I think that's very interesting.
So I think with Volpe, I think it's safe to say that he has improved his range from earlier in the year when he was going through that rut. It just felt like he was booting everything, right? And so appreciate because this is a great voicemail from Ed, one of our really knowledgeable viewers that, we could learn a thing or two from, which is always cool. I like talking to people who are willing to go above and beyond a certain thing, and Ed does that. Here, this is on full display. He stopped booting balls like he was earlier in the year. Remember that? That was bad. That's not happening nearly as much. But the throwing errors are a problem. I will say this in defense to him. Are these errors if Goldschmidt is at first? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know, right? There are some times where I feel like Ben Rice could have scooped that. But what I will say is this. When it comes to Volpe had that arm issue, like the injury earlier in the year. Volpe's never had a good arm. I've always said this. People pushed me on it. Savant shows it. Are we sure that, he hasn't lost some arm strength from that? It just doesn't feel like he doesn't have the zip on the ball. And what I would say is this, to go even further. Volpe doesn't have the zip on the ball to throw flat-footed anymore. I don't know if you've noticed, but when he's throwing across his body, say he's throwing on the run, it feels like he gets more out of the throw.
Yeah, that throw he had that Yao Ming, Shaquille O'Neal on top of each other's shoulders wouldn't have got to. That throw was kind of on his heels, where he's going to have to rely on his arm. And people talk all day long about the lack of aggressiveness, and that's mental. The choice of attacking the ball, he doesn't attack the baseball. And they make excuses all day long. They're like, yeah, he should have charged that ball. He should have been more aggressive. And it helps you have more time. That's the whole point of being aggressive, is there's a reward for being aggressive. You get to the ball sooner so that you have more time to throw. And again, he's not making errors because he has a weak arm. He's making errors because it's inaccurate. Now, if you have a weak arm and then you're going to throw from your back foot, yeah, you're going to sail the throw. You don't have that type of arm. So why are you even attempting it? And when you talk about the range, his range is 4th percentile. So he's not getting to a ton of baseballs. He's just not.
No.
And you don't have a good arm. So, yeah, it's not good ball. It's not. I appreciate you bringing it up. There's certainly something there. The Yankees may try to point to something physical this winter. I'm not sure. But we're going to know exactly what they think because we're going into arbitration. And they're going to argue for exactly what they think Anthony Volpe's worth monetarily. And when they tell us, oh, no, we think he's worth $2.5 million, and Volpe thinks he's worth $7 million, I mean, he's going to ask for as much money as humanly possible. Well, when they tell you we think he's worth X amount, you'll know then what they think of Volpe defensively. So this winter, Jake, this winter is going to be crazy. It's going to be fun, but crazy.
How unbelievably hypocritical is that going to be? No, he's elite. We told you guys you were wrong, and then they're going to go to baseball court.
He should come up with all of the quotes and just bring it to his attorney.
He should. It'd be like, well, they said I was elite. And they said they're measurables, and they're going to be like, all right, do you have the measurables? Do you have the... Because that's what the arbitrator's going to say. The arbiter is like, the Yankees have said, yeah, we have our own metrics. Okay, so the arbiter is going to want to see the metrics. And then what are the Yankees going to be like?
Jim
Just kidding.
Murray of WME Sports. If you don't go to court against the Yankees and say they said he was effing elite, he practically cursed out a baseball podcasting who literally pays him to do interviews, and he vomited out only positive things. He never said one negative thing about me the whole year. And now you guys are telling me I'm not worth over $3 million.
Yeah.
He'll have a case. And I'm not telling you guys that's what he's worth. But
I'd pay
that's how
money
it
to
goes.
get that transcript.
Oh, my God. I would pay-per-view. I'd pay money to go see that. Ed W with the 5. Ed, we really appreciate it. Says, too bad we can't get the ARB transcript to Cross Boone during his, during his press conferences. It would be a comedy show to see what the Yankees think behind closed doors of Anthony Volpe. We know it's favorable, but they're going to have to really go underneath the hood. When you're negotiating to tell someone how little they're worth, that's what arbitration is, guys. It doesn't help the Yankees for paying him a single extra dollar. So they're going to go in there and be like, he can't throw, he can run well, and that's good for him. He's not hitting. The power's a little overrated because he doesn't hit for any contact.
I'll tell you right now.
It's going to be...
Randy Levine, if you thought what he said about Dellin Betances was bad, which I hated what he said about Dellin Betances, just wait until what he says about Anthony Volpe. We're going to find out real quick who is the reason why Anthony Volpe gets chance after chance after chance.
Do you think that leaks? Like we get any information?
It leaked with Betances.
Yeah, so oh my God. Well, I'll tell you right now, guys, we have plenty of connections now with this show. We will be working day and night to figure out what happens in this ARB hearing. It is going to be so fun. But Ed,
and I don't like Randy Levine, by the way, at all. But I'm not condoning what he did to Betances. But I'm just saying, he's going to be loud about not paying Anthony Volpe.
Yeah, we're going to try and figure out what they say.
Yeah.
But that's the end of our voicemails. Jake, we have the day off. Let's tee up what will be Tuesday. And
yes.
Is this back at the stadium?
It is. The Tigers, by the way, guess what? After today,
yeah,
the Yankees and the Tigers are the only teams in the AL with a above 500 record on the road. Toronto is now 500.
I mean, not what we want to hear when you hear that a team plays well on the road and they're about to play you on the road. But
no, I get that.
We are seeing Mize Flaherty and to be determined.
No Skubal. They've already confirmed that. So
if it's no Skubal, and I don't hate the rotation,
it's
Casey
weird,
Mize
though.
ain't Skubal.
The way they talk about it is almost like they don't want to pitch him against the Yankees because, like, I don't really understand why there's no Skubal if it's... Did he pitch today?
Well, let's take a look. So if you look at the standings, right, why would the Tigers want to have Tarik Skubal pitch against the Yankees? They're not in jeopardy of losing the division at all. Technically, they could be like, we want the 1 seed, and that certainly could be a priority. But they also could look at it and say, well, if Tarik Skubal pitches at Yankee Stadium, the Yankees have a ton of momentum. We're just giving them a look. Paul Goldschmidt hits lefties. We're going to give him extra looks at Skubal. It doesn't help. It always helps the hitters to see an arm more. And so I just think that, will it help them win in this series? Yes. But you're 8.5 games over Kansas City. Kansas City isn't putting up a single fight in that division. So maybe they look at it and say, if we run into New York later, we would rather have Skubal showing up with, I guess, they've seen him 3 or 4 less times. So
this has got to be
that's
strategic.
Their mentality.
This has got to be strategic for October because Skubal pitched on Saturday, got the win.
Yes.
You have an off day on Monday.
Yep.
So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days.
I wouldn't pitch him if I were Detroit.
I mean, if you don't need the win, I guess not.
They want to win, and they'll certainly be in the game. They're not chopped liver without him, but it's Tarik Skubal. Why would you show them Tarik Skubal? Why? For what? So Paul Goldschmidt can get a look. So Aaron Judge is going to be judged. no pun intended. Everyone's waiting to see what Aaron Judge does in October anyway. Nobody cares that he's going to win this MVP. I know we care, but the audience, the world, they don't care he's going to win MVP. They know he's going to win MVP. So he's going to go win the MVP, and then what's the common fan going to say? What the hell is he going to do in October? Well, Detroit wants to upend what we do in October. They think they very well could run into us. If that's the case, I'm not spinning them my ace. You'll see my ace in October, and if you got 3 hits against whoever the hell, against Toronto, wait till you see this guy. Tarek Skubal is on another planet. So,
yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking at this as a strategic choice, and I don't know if I hate it.
I don't
maybe
hate
old
it.
school fans are like, oh, you always play your best and you don't give away games, and certainly you can have that take. I wouldn't try to convince anyone, but I do think it helps us out a ton. If we see him Wednesday, that would be advantage Yankees, in my opinion.
Well, no, you would see him Thursday.
Is it Thursday? Okay.
But it looks
Thursday,
like they've
it'd be
already
advantage.
scheduled him for a Friday start, September 12th against Miami.
Okay. Right. And in that game in Miami, what the hell does that mean? He's probably almost going to no-hit Miami.
Yeah, see, they know what they're doing. That's actually, I'm going to give them credit for that. I think that's good because they're smart about it. They know, and you brought this up, are they in jeopardy of losing that? I mean,
No.
Kansas City is coming up. They're still 8.5 games back.
8.5?
Kansas
They're not a threat
City
at all.
is coming back into the wild card conversation. They're not. Detroit could sleepwalk and still win this division. They know that. So no,
No
this
contest.
this is smart. This is a team that is aware that they're probably going to face the Yankees in the postseason in some capacity, and these are the 2 best teams in the AL. I mean, really, I think the Yankees are the best team in the AL, but the Tigers won the last matchup, so we'll see what ends up happening. But as far as it goes, Will Warren, he is much better at the stadium than he is on the road. I think, I'm looking forward to this game. ESPN matchup predictor has 53.2% likelihood the Yankees win this, but Casey Mize has had a good year. His walks are a little high. The whip is in the 1.3s, just like Will Warren. And he's not a strikeout guy. He doesn't get a strikeout in inning or anything like
movement.
that. But he has given up 17 home runs, same as Will Warren. We'll see. I mean, Will Warren is also throwing a lot of, he's walked a lot of guys too. So, I think Casey Mize had a good, I believe he beat them earlier in the year. So I wouldn't just chalk it up as a win. I am going to say they win. I do think they win this series because they don't face Skubal. I'm not going to predict a sweep. I'm not feeling as confident there, but I would probably say, Gary, you're looking at, let's see. So they got Mize. They hit Flaherty well in the postseason. So Mize, Flaherty, and TBD. I'm going to say they probably
Lose game 1 and win both game 2 and 3, similar to what you saw.
Yeah, I'm going to go with that.
Yeah, it seems like it's set up that way. And these games are never just given away. Detroit's not playing great baseball, and they know they're still going to hang tough against the Yankees. They're going to get up for this game. It's what happens, especially contenders or in division. Teams are going to get up for you. We've seen it with Tampa. We saw it with Toronto. These are tight games. We see it with Boston. They play better baseball when we walk through the door. They should. So, yeah, Mark, who's been a member for 3 months, Mark, we appreciate it, says set in stone. Stanton with multiple home runs in the Tiger series. Volpe with a home run, so they keep him in for another month. Williams, blown outing, but still hold on to win. And Judge makes another outfield gem. So obviously Mark is making with the prediction that we're going to see Aaron Judge defensively. They're going to leave Stanton out, and we're just going to yield that, yeah, the throws, no more, the outfield assists, we'll punt that to protect Giancarlo Stanton physically. I love that decision. Do I love the idea of having anyone who's compromised out in the outfield? No. But if that outfielder who's compromised defensively of throwing can still make the plays that you saw today, the play he made was big time. Major play in today's game. And also, his bat gets to stay in the lineup, which is literally by far the most important part about his existence. So, love that choice. And I'm not going to miss this super. Ed W., thank you for the 5, says this series is scary. Mize tossed their salad in April. Well, that's April. This is September. Definitely different baseball. So means something, not everything. And Hinch owns Boone. If Hinch doing something, it's for a good reason, i.e. Scooble first and stuff plus. Yeah, AJ Hinch is a good manager. He just is. I'll give him his credit. Obviously, we know the history there. It's not all great, but he knows what he's doing. I think this was strategic, and they're going to fight like bats out of hell, and we just have to fight harder. It's that simple. Win. Yeah.
So that's going to do it. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us for the last 2 hours. That's what you get when you're constantly talking all day. But no, appreciate it. Be sure to hit the like button, also known as the thumbs up button. Really does help us out. And also be sure to hype the video. If you don't know how to hype the video, ask a neighbor. But basically on mobile, you can hype the video. And it basically just helps us get more, I don't know, exposure. They told us it was a better thing for us, so that's what we're doing. And be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. So, fun show. What do we want to put in the comment section?
How about drop Austin Wells? Drop Austin Wells in the comment section. I thought him throwing out a base runner today was one of the biggest things that happened all day. He hasn't done it all year. He did it in September, which is, I think if we could handpick a time to do it, it'd be now, as much as we would like it to be consistent. Drop Austin Wells. Give him some love in the comment section. Say something nice about him. He deserves it. Would love that.
What did the kids say?
This video.
Aura?
What?
After he had aura after he threw that guy out.
Yeah. He was fired up, and he was fired up in the game where he was hitting multiple sack flies, whether they were failed home run attempts or not. We'll give him his credit. It ended up in something positive. So drop something for Mr. Austin Wells, and most importantly, do not leave here without liking this video.